Welcome to a brand new series of Pets Practice. Dr. Kevin returns to help pet owners understand common and some less common issues with our pets and how we can best look after them. Lisa Williams joins the team and gets out and about discovering how we interact with our pets. She meets many pet-mad people and gets to try out some of the activities we share with our animals. Julia Kinghorn, our expert dog trainer with her Border Collie Fick, will each week teach us all a trick we can train our dogs to demonstrate their hidden talents. And Nigel, from Nigel's Animal Rescue, takes us along with him as he travels around rescuing all creatures great and small. Welcome everyone to Pets Practice. In this week's show, Julia and Fick demonstrate the sit and beg trick. Nigel carries out one of his most common rescues. Lisa visits a retirement home for some very famous racehorses and also gets to see close up how horse tissue therapy works. While Dr. Kevin investigates why Dino is limping after a fall.
Hi, my name's Julia Kinghorn and this is my Border Collie Fick. How do you do? Good girl. Dog training is both a fun and rewarding experience that's essential for any dog owner. Not only will it bring you closer together, it will also help your pet become a beautiful, well-mannered and happy animal that's a pleasure to be around. I've been training dogs for the last 11 years, helping hundreds of dog owners train their dogs, from puppy class right through to advanced level of obedience. I've worked with problem dogs and performance dogs. But it's training tricks that I love the best. Hey Fick, give me 5. Good one. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to show you some tried and true methods to help teach your dog some new skills and help you get the most out of your training sessions. Before getting started, you'll need 2 things. First are a lot of rewards. A reward can be whatever your dog fancies, such as perhaps a belly rub, playing good old fetch, maybe a game of tug with its favourite toy. But most common is small pieces of food that can be gulped down quickly. Here I've got some cheese, Frankfurt, and just some dry food. And although it's difficult, make sure your dog works for your rewards. Yes, some dogs are harder to get revved up for training than others, but giving them freebies is counterproductive. The second thing you will need is a marker, which is a short and precise sound or word, like yes, that marks the exact moment you reward. When training a new skill, I like to use the clicker. This is a button clicker and this is a box clicker. Many dogs know the sound of their dinner bowl being picked up or maybe even their lead and they come running. That's because these sounds are associated with the good things. So before we teach the dog any new skill, we condition the clicker in a similar manner. We click and give the food. We usually give that food within half to 1 second of doing the click. Using a marker in training is a very effective way to communicate to your dog. With a simple click, you can tell your dog immediately when they're doing the exact behaviour that you like. Good girl.
Animal Rescue, Nigel speaking.
Animal Rescue, Nigel speaking.
Animal Rescue, Nigel speaking. I've just received a call about a possum that's got himself caught inside of a fireplace. Now, this would have to be the most common rescue that I've dealt with in the last 30 years now. Possums have evolved and adapted to living inside of our homes very close to us, down inside the wall cavity. But in this case, this roof is sealed. He's been unable to get inside. So therefore he's climbed up the chimney, found the top of the pot, and he's gone down inside the flue. So he's actually inside the firebox in the chimney. They also go down the gas fires as well as your range hood flues. So we're going to go inside, see if the owner's at home there, and go and rescue this fella. G'day, Nigel from Animal Rescue. I believe you've got a possum down your chimney.
Yes, I do. Come in.
Oh, thank you. This is one of the most common heaters that we deal with. Let's have a look. Oh, we're in trouble here. This guy's actually got his head poking down at me. He's not a happy chappy. So what we're going to have to do for this particular one, because if I reach in to grab him like I normally do, he's actually going to bite me. So we're going to get a rope. We're going to drop a rope down the chimney just to push him down inside of the firebox here, and then it's going to be nice and easy to get him out. We'll have you out in a moment, matey.
Dino has been brought in to Vets on Parker after a nasty fall.
Dino's been rushed to see me this morning because he's got a very sore front left leg. He actually fell down some stairs early this morning. Dino 12 months ago had a similar sort of accident and actually fractured his left elbow. Today, we're actually going to need to x-ray his front left leg to see exactly what's going on. Hopefully, the screw that was placed into his elbow last year is still in place and we don't have anything more serious going on.
Good boy, we'll just position his front left leg. There we go. And we'll take this x-ray now. Perfect. Oh, sorry matey, just come back. Good boy. There we go. And excellent.
This is Dino's x-ray of his front left leg, and the first thing that we can see is the very large screw and pin that are placed up near his elbow, and this is due to the surgery that was performed last Easter after he fractured his elbow. Very nasty incident. He has come out of that and was doing incredibly well on that front left leg until this morning, where if we visualise further down his foot, we can see two lines in the midsection here, which is about halfway down his forearm, and this is an oblique fracture of both his radius and his ulnar. A very, very nasty sort of incident and total loss of stability in his front left leg now. This is going to need to be surgically repaired for gold standard treatment, and the way we do that is actually with an orthopaedic plate that's going to be placed directly over the radius. We shouldn't need to worry about the ulnar being the smaller bone on the outside. It doesn't provide a huge amount of support to the front left leg. The radius is by far the most important bone in that leg, and that's the one we're going to concentrate on fixing. So what we need to do now is I unfortunately need to give Dino's owners a call. I can't imagine how devastated they're going to be with this sort of news, but I also know from treating very similar patients with similar injuries, the success of this procedure is generally very high. It's not as complicated as the surgery that we had to perform on his front left elbow, and we should see him running around being his normal naughty Dino self, hopefully in about a month's time. So I'll give Dino's owners a call now.
So here's Flick and my Aussie Shepherd Pippin. I've got lots of treats ready, got my clicker. So dogs, what are we going to teach? Before you begin the training session, make sure you've got a clear direction of what you'd actually like to teach. It's important not to become complacent and work on the same old tired skills. So to add to your dog's repertoire, we're going to take a look at the sit pretty or the beg skill. Hey Flick, you sit pretty? Nice one. Good girl. Very good. Pippi? Sit pretty. Good job. This is where the dog's sitting squarely on their hind haunches. The front paws are lifted off the ground and they're holding position with that nice straight back. Ready, Flick? Beg. Good girl. Hey, Pippi, sit pretty. Yes. To help demonstrate the training techniques involved, I've got my two rookie dogs and their owners. We've got little Rosie, who's 6, and Helena. And we've got Scout, he's 1, with Michaela. To start off, guys, we're going to have our dogs sitting in a nice square sit, holding a piece of food just on their nose and moving it up and over their head to lift maybe 1, maybe even 2 paws off the ground. And when they get there, clicking and rewarding. And then we repeat the process. So we're looking for 1 foot off, or maybe even 2 feet off. So using that piece of food, the bottom on the ground, nice and square sit, up and over their head, lifting 1 or 2 of those feet, clicking and rewarding. So if that first technique of luring isn't quite working for your dog, there is an alternative technique, and that is basically getting down and helping your dog by supporting those front paws. Okay, so I'm down here at Flick's level and she's resting her front paws on my forearm. So give it a go with these guys and see how they go. Flicky, there we go. So we can use that food to lure up, holding those front paws. What we're working on is getting that nice straight back and helping to build these back muscles. Ready, Flick? Yeah, good one. So there you have it, a sure crowd pleaser. Flick, the sit pretty. Good girl. And before long, your dog will be sitting pretty too. Just make sure that you're nice and patient and consistent with your training. We look forward to seeing you again next week for Flick's Tricks. Good girl. Party. Thanks, Rosie. Thanks, Scout. Ready? Party. Go get it.
Elite athletes have a multitude of professionals at their disposal. You've got the coach, nutritionist, psychologist, physiotherapist. Well, the specialist we're meeting today is unique in his field. Not only do his clients weigh half a tonne, they don't speak English either. We're at Ken Key's stables in Devon Meadows, Victoria to catch up with Christian Langeder, a soft tissue therapist for these amazing athletes.
I used to race BMXs and I came off one really nicely and broke my back in 3 places. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so it was through personal experience of having to find someone that could fix me that I just developed a fascination for all sorts of different soft tissue therapies and learnt them and transferred them over to animals, with help of course. But
Right, did you ever practice on people?
no, straight to animals. That was the intention. You know, when I couldn't walk from having broken my back, I thought that if I could walk again, then, you know, I would have liked to have treated animals. And I didn't know how that was going to look, but it ended up being, you know, this.
How many have you ridden in
No,
your life?
2.
Only
Yeah,
2?
2, yeah. I don't want to ride them. You know, I like them as a puzzle. Yeah, I have no intention of getting on anytime soon.
No, especially not these guys, racehorses.
No, racehorses, they're a bit flighty. Lots of respect to the people who ride these, the jockeys and the people who do the track work. You've seen a few times that they explode and run, and
Yes.
that's what they're bred for. So, so I'm definitely not getting on any one of these anytime soon.
Well, I expect that they experience quite a few muscular problems, so
yeah.
let's take a look at some of the work you do.
No worries.
In for a checkup today is Chicken, a 5-year-old thoroughbred who injured his back last year attempting to jump a fence. It's Christian's job to iron out any sore spots.
A lot of people check by movement. Now, I've got a shocking eye for movement, I always have had, and so what's happened is that I've kind of developed a way of checking by feeling for pain.
Okay.
And so I think that there's 11 reaction points through the body, and I look for those, and they actually correspond to different muscle groups which I treat. We can see a little bit here. So this is the trapezius muscle. This is where I'm expecting his main problem is. And then we've also got the hamstring. So if we just bring him forward a sec, and I go through it, it kind of looks like this.
Oh yeah, I can see
So you
that.
can see all those different pains that he's got.
Yeah. So how does it work? Is it a bit like massage, what you're doing right now?
I'm kind of like a mix-up of a whole bunch of different Australian therapies. Bowen therapy being probably one of the major ones, another one called Emmett, another one called Hatchard's Wave, and then my own stuff. Sometimes it looks a little bit like massage. The difference is that I work cross fibre. I don't work with the muscle, I actually work across it. And when you see me holding points, I'm pretty much just shorting muscles out.
Are you trying to reset it?
Yeah. Without getting too technical, there's an organ within every muscle belly that will check itself if you know how to make it. And so by finding little nervous receptors just under the skin, I can actually make muscles kind of recalibrate.
Christian will treat up to 12 horses in a day, and Chicken looks like he's ready to go.
You can see already there's a change.
Yeah.
There's no reaction, and it looked like I have done pretty much nothing, but it will have a massive response within the animal. I think anyone that works with animals in this kind of industry or helping animals, you know, you do it because you like to help. You know, you like to help out. So this is my job. We get to hang out with horses all day.
Okay, is he down yet? I think he is. Yep, okay, I'll be down in a moment. Well, we've got him down inside the box now, so the tricky part is to get him out without being bitten. And I'm certainly glad that the owners didn't have a fire last night. Okay, I'm going to use the poker, and that's to protect myself so I don't get bitten or scratched. We just put it up against him gently. Well, I've now got to reach in near that mouth and those claws and get that tail. And gotcha, matey. We've got you now. Oh, there we go. Bit of a mess, but that happens. One brush-tailed possum. And in you go. Both nice and safe. There you go. Another successful mission completed. This is the problem. We've got a flue here that's got no wire around it, so it's leaving a nice open area for the possum to go down inside the flue. To solve the problem, just a little bit of wire like this that we wrap it around and we just wire it over, just like that. That is now possum friendly. So he's not going to go back down there again. Now that we've successfully rescued the possum from the chimney, our next step is to provide him a home, because this guy is homeless. That's why he's gone down the chimney in the first place. So a possum box is going to be installed up into a tree, and we're going to release them after dark tonight, because if we do it throughout the day, the birds are going to attack him, and that's not really good for the possum. So the owner's going to let him go. And matey, I really hope you live a long, happy life down here, and you're certainly not going to be going down that chimney ever again. I just love happy endings like this.
Polo, soccer, rugby, yes, Europe has influenced Australian sport in many, many ways, but nothing quite stops the nation like the horse races. It is the third largest spectator sport in Australia, but what happens when the old boys retire? Today we're going to find out. Only 6 kilometres from Melbourne Airport, Living Legends is home to some of our finest retired champions, and Andrew is going to introduce me to them. Good morning, Andrew.
Yes, good morning, Lisa. Welcome to Living Legends.
Thank you so much. I hear you've got a few superstars to show me this morning.
Yes, we've got some 13 retired champion racehorses that won the big races, but they've also got their own unique personalities.
Great. I look forward to meeting them. I suppose their routine here is quite different to what it was when they were working, though.
Yes, it is very, very different, but they're still old boys that love their routine. They love their breakfast at 8 o'clock. You know, if it's 10 minutes late, they'll be watching their watch. They love to have the visitors. They like that routine because they've grown up in a routine.
I suppose they stack on a few kilos in retirement, do they?
Yes, you've got to watch the weight as you get into retirement, but we weigh these horses on a monthly basis just to make sure they're not putting on too much weight or losing weight as well, so we adjust their diets accordingly.
Oh, good. Excellent. Well, I suppose it's time for us to take a look as well.
Yep, let's go.
Okay. The team here run tours every day at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m, so you can come and meet some of your old-time favourites. Chief De Beers has quite a story to tell.
Yes, we've got Chief De Beers here, Lisa, champion sprinter who went on for a 10-year career in the police force after he finished racing.
Oh, wow. What was his role in the police force?
He did it all. He did crowd control, football games, he did search and rescue. One of his riders took him into a bushfire, but he was also the governor's ceremonial horse in Queensland, and he took fallen police officers on their final journey. So he was a very special horse, but he had one little quirk, and that was that he always had to be at the front of the field or the head of the pack. And once that was sorted out, he was a great little horse.
Oh, well done. Well done, Chief De Beers. He's lovely. Horse racing is the third largest spectator sport in Australia. And this is a face many of you will recognise. His name is Apache Cat. John Baker worked as the assistant trainer to Apache Cat during his career and is back today along with these race fans to visit his old friend. Andrew, who have we got here?
Yes, well, we've got who we call our odd couple. We've got Apache Cat, the champion sprinter, and his paddock mate, the Melbourne Cup winning horse Rogan Josh. 10 years age difference between the two of them, totally different personalities, but you know, the best of mates.
Oh, it's great. So there's no rivalry in the paddock then?
Little bit of grumpy old men moments from time to time, but really, by and large, they're the best of mates. One goes for a drink, the other one goes for a drink.
Great. Well, they're not afraid of the cameras. I dare say that they're show ponies, even in their retirement years, hey?
Yes, and Apache Cat especially. He seems to know when the cameras are on, he knows to put his ears forward and the best foot forward.
When you've had enough horsing around, head on up to browse the historic homestead. Don't mind if I do.
This beautiful homestead was built in the early 1840s by Irish settlers, and Burke and Wills, the famous explorers, even stopped in on the second night of their ill-fated journey. But these days, there's no guessing who runs the place.
Before Dino wakes up, what we need to do is place just a small light bandage just to provide some support to that broken leg of his until we're able to surgically correct it tomorrow. So, good little man, he's done very well today. So it just means we just need to pop a couple of layers of bandage on this left front leg of his, just so it's a little bit more comfortable for him, as I said, until the surgical repair tomorrow. Here we go, little man. Good boy, Dino. I just cannot believe that one little dog can have such bad luck. His poor little elbow, which was Easter last year, and now this. I mean, he's very, very energetic, but good boy. Done very, very well. Good boy. There we go. Good boy. A little bit more of this on. Up over your elbow, little man. So, as you can imagine, a fracture of this magnitude is very, very painful for him. So we're going to need to get him on some pretty strong pain relief. Obviously, he's not feeling much at the moment with the sedation on board, but good boy. As soon as he wakes up, we've just got to make sure we tailor the appropriate pain relief for him. Every dog has a different pain threshold, so it's a matter of making sure he's as comfortable and as pain-free as possible. Good boy, Dino. There we go. Almost done. His little toes are poking out, which is good. And I said, this is just a very temporary bandage, just until his surgical repair tomorrow. Good boy, Dino. There we go. As you can imagine, his owner's quite distressed about it, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as his last fracture that he had in his elbow. These sorts of fractures, although he's going to need the surgery, I've got no concerns about any potential complications. These sorts of surgeries, particularly when the owners are able to bring the dog in straight away, generally are very successful. So, hey little man, let's get you comfortable in your cage. Good boy.